And now, Cincy Jungle proudly presents Sorry If I Spit When I Speak, hosted by Daddy-O McDuck and Dr. Hoji the Electric Smoji.
Hello everybody and welcome to Sorry If I Spit When I Speak. I am Daddy-O McDuck and our topic for today is Andy Dalton and AJ McCarron and whether there might be a quarterback controversy. I think it's ridiculous, but some people don't. One of those people joins us today. He is my esteemed co-host, Dr. Hoji the Electric Smoji. Hoji, tell me why McCarron has a chance of supplanting Andy Dalton.
Look, it's really simple etymology. The A, Daddy-O, is for avant-garde, meaning new or state-of-the-art. The J is for javelin because he's a natural thrower. This AJ, as you call him, is giving us a new hope. His real name, Daddy-O, is Raymond Anthony McCarron Jr. And let me tell you what everyone loves about Raymond. First of all, he has a lot in common with other all-time great QBs. He's married to a model, Catherine Webb, just like Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady, he was chosen late in the draft, and like Tom Brady, Daddy-O, he had to wait his turn when his position as future Hercules of the NFL was occupied by an overrated Drew Bledsoe. McCarron's Drew Bledsoe, unfortunately, is more of a Drew So-So, a mediocre young man with fiery eyebrows named Andy Dalton. Look, we all know this guy sucks, but it's like we're afraid to admit it. Dalton was booed by Bengals fans, by the fans of his own team at the celebrity softball game in Cincinnati. Players like Drape Kirkpatrick and Wallace Gilberry, they all praise McCarron. But then they have to add, oh, but Dalton is still getting the job done. They know that Daddy is watching and Daddy's gonna get mad. Yes, he is. Listen, Daddy. And by Daddy, I mean Marvin Lewis. Stop protecting this short-armed BB gun we've been pretending is a rifle.
Okay, Hoji, now that you've brought Marvin Lewis into the discussion, I'll just ask, do you remember the 90s, Hoji? Do you not see the great strides we've made under Marvin Lewis?
Marvin Lewis made an honest woman out of the Bengals, I'll agree. While most of us were watching Seinfeld, enjoying a Snapple, or just letting the dial-up get started so we could surf the net, Lewis was the man who would fight for our honor. He was the hero that we were dreaming of, but those days are long gone, Daddy.
It sounds to me like you're describing the 90s, but Marvin Lewis, he became coach in 2003.
It doesn't matter when he became coach. We all know it's all about a coach's formative years. Marvin Lewis, Daddy-O, was born in 1958, the late 1950s. We need a coach who was born in the late 1940s. I'm talking about a voice from the silent generation who can instill some old world values into this young team. None other than Samuel David Weich, inventor of the no huddle and Obi-Wan Kenobi to our wide-eyed Luke Skywalking team. Sam Weich knew a quarterback had to have some swagger to him, like the 40s film star Cary Grant. Boomer had that swagger. McCarron has it. Dalton? He has about as much swagger as a carrot.
Yeah, but I just think it's ridiculous how in the recent years people don't want to give QBs time to grow. Now, I'm not going to go back to the 70s or 80s when guys like Terry Bradshaw and Steve Young had rough starts to their careers. Even in the late 1990s, Hoji, when Peyton Manning began, look, in his first 4 seasons, he threw 111 touchdowns, 81 interceptions, and went 0-3 in the postseason with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. He regressed in his 4th year, just like Dalton, throwing 26 touchdowns and 23 interceptions after throwing 33 touchdowns the previous year. Dalton threw 33 touchdowns in 2013, then 19 touchdowns and 17 interceptions in 2014. But you know the difference, Hoji? People were sure that Manning was a rising star and future MVP.
Look, well, Dalton's supporting cast is much better. Bleacher Report said he has the best supporting cast in the league, so that ends the debate.
But Hoji, are you sure Dalton's supporting cast is better? Look, Manning had Marvin Harrison, the 7th all-time leader in the receiving yards and 5th all-time in the receiving touchdowns. Manning had Harrison for 60 games his first 4 seasons, and Dalton had A.J. Green for 60 games his first 4 years. But Harrison had 5,376 yards to A.J.'s 4,874, and 48 touchdowns for Harrison to A.J.'s 35. And also, let me mention running backs. Manning had the NFL's leading rusher for 2 of his first 4 years in Edgerrin James, who led the league in 1999 and 2000, and he also added 1,200 yards receiving.
Yeah, but Manning was on SNL. He does all those insurance commercials. have you seen any real sponsors putting Dalton on TV? I mean, I don't know. Maybe if someone is selling rubber wedding rings or an Opie Taylor haircut or something like that.
See, Hoji, that's the problem. People beat up on this poor guy just for his appearance.
Speaking of appearance, if you want to look like the coolest guy at your pool party this summer,
then you can buy the Hello Kitty Swimset, which includes your Hello Kitty goggles, Hello Kitty kickboard, flippers, face mask, and more. For a limited time, the Hello Kitty Swimset is only $89.95 when you mention the keyword Daddio and Hoji.
I don't know why you signed with these people, Daddy. It's like for little girls, man.
What do you mean? It's Hello Kitty. It's for everybody over 4 years old. It says so on the box, Hoji. I have a set myself.
So, back to the quarterback situation. You know, Daddy, there's another issue to consider when playing McCarron over Dalton. I know you love AJ and Sanu and Marvin Jones. Well, they would all have to go just to fit Dalton's fat contract under cap.
That's just not true. Dalton's deal isn't all that bad. He's not going to get near that $115 million over 6 years that we heard initially. In fact, in 2016, his cap hit should only be about $13 million.
With $13 million, I could buy the DeLorean from Back to the Future, the van from A-Team, the ambulance from Ghostbusters, and Kit from Knight Rider, with enough money left over to donate to a worthy charity. I don't know, maybe to my Save the Aldabra Banded Snail Foundation, dedicated to saving a tenacious snail from the Indian Ocean that might be the first, but definitely not last victim of global warming. Yes, kids, the world is getting hot, and animals are dying, and Andy Dalton is to blame. What about poor AJ McCarron? You know what McCarron's cap hit will be in 2016, Daddy? Do you know what it'll be? $645,413. That's how much I pay my pool man, Daddy.
Yeah, but that's only because you tell your pool man not to use chlorine and to encourage the algae and mold to move to another environment through some weird rituals or something, because you say chlorine is bad for the environment.
The point is, paying a quarterback like a franchise player today makes it really hard to win. You know who else stacked up on other positions while playing a quarterback on a rookie deal? The Seahawks. Also, keeping Dalton will mean losing at least one of our receivers and maybe George Iloka. The real problem, Daddy, is that Bengals fans like yourself are just afraid to take a chance. This is what my therapist calls effort justification, Daddy. It basically means that once you've put great effort into something, you find it hard to let it go, even if you overvalue that thing. We've put a lot of effort.
It's really not that simple, Hoji.
No. Listen. We've put a lot of effort into this kid, drafting him in the second round in 2011, giving him chance after chance. Do you remember when Brett Favre retired, then came back, then retired 8 times, and the Packers oh, that's it, we're going with the young, unproven Aaron Rodgers? Do you remember that, Daddy?
Yes, but Favre was 37 at the time. Dalton is only 27. And they spent a first rounder on Rodgers, whereas McCarron is a 5th round pick. And by the way, the Packers struggled Rodgers' first year, going 6-10 after going 13-3 and making the NFC Championship game the year before.
Yes, but they won the Super Bowl just 2 years later. See my point?
Yeah, I guess I kind of do. That's weird.
And that's why, Daddy-o, I will make a prediction right here and right now. If the Bengals start McCarron this year, they will win the AFC playoffs roughly 5 months from now. They'll be disappointed in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks with a score of 27-17. But then they'll return the next year and win every stinking Super Bowl until 2021.
A little bit unrealistic, Coach.
When their name will change to the United States Bengals and Sam White will be elected President of the United Nations.
Okay. Now you're just...
Will be put inside the time capsule and catapulted into outer space so that humanity might never forget the greatness of the sons of Paul Brown.
Okay, Hoji. All right. Yeah, we better just call it a day.
That's all for today. I'm Hoji the Electric Smoogie.
And I am Daddy McDuck. Thank you for listening to... Sorry if I spit when I speak.